Thank you for listening to Milk and Lettuce, the podcast named for my rather gross backstory. I am your host, Isaac. I hope you're having a fantastic one so far. Whether you're trying to relax, get some work done, or simply on your commute, I appreciate you taking the time to listen to someone who never learns when to shut up. If you are driving, please remember to follow traffic laws. Your safety and the safety of others matters more than listening to a podcast, or even music, news, what have you. You may hear a short ad read following this intro. Perhaps not. I don't control that. Either way, let's get into it. Please stand by as we proceed with a short ad read from the sponsor, Anchor.fm. If you would like to start your own podcast like Milk and Lettuce, and you don't really have any money, because maybe you just got a new phone or a new computer, you can just use that. It's free. Just download the app or go to the website, and there's a bunch of tools that are right there for you. So yeah, if you would also like to get started with your own podcast, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Now back to your Milk and Lettuce podcast episode of the day. Or hour. I don't know how many you're listening to. I appreciate you though. So I've trashed a couple more recordings. Just things that have been getting me heated and such. This is one that I have tried to record a couple times. And my thing is, I don't want to say something that's offensive, but at the same time, I think what a lot of people are doing is much more offensive than what I'm saying. Because what I have done, as opposed to a lot of teenagers on TikTok, is I've actually tried to research this thing. I want to know why. Why is mental health quirky and fun and cute? Like, something's wrong with me. I'm so quirky. Go fuck yourself. Thank you. Like, I don't know, man. Like, the fact that like people legitimately think like, oh, I have such bad ADHD. Look at me start doing something and immediately forget that I'm doing it, and well, I just happen to be recording during it. Like, there's a couple fantastic content creators on TikTok that talk about ADHD. They talk about things that they just normally go through or something that just happened. So, there's a bloody shark on YouTube. I've been watching this guy. His name's Masaru. He's a fisherman, and yeah, he had an alligator once, which was kind of weird. But yeah, like, I'm not talking about ADHD this episode. I'm talking more about DID, dissociative identity disorder. I don't understand what it is with TikTok and literal teenagers pretending that they have DID. There's a lot that pretend that they have Tourette's, either have Tourette's and DID or just one or the other. I'm pretty sure Tourette's is not really technically a mental health issue. I know it can cause mental health issues for sure, anxiety and depression. Like, absolutely. Like, what the fuck did I put it? My bad. No, like, okay, my mom and grandmother technically have Tourette's. Or not Tourette's, sorry. Seizures. Not Tourette's. My dad had Tourette's, I guess. But no, they have seizures. And, like, just knowing that you could possibly have a seizure can cause anxiety. So I feel like Tourette's probably is very similar in knowing that you can have, like, a tic attack while you're out in public. It can cause anxiety. I've seen legitimate content creators on YouTube and on TikTok who have Tourette's and say that it can for them. So I'm sure it's a good amount who probably do, honestly. Because, like I said, people that are close to me that have seizure disorders have had that. And, like, I can't exactly ask my dad to verify his Tourette's diagnosis. He told me he did. I guess he did. I'm just gonna say he did. Would take way too much time to set up a seance just to ask my dad if he actually did have Tourette's. And it's not like that's one of the things that they listed on his death certificate, because like, the closest thing to a mental disorder that was listed was opioid addiction, because yeah, that can lead to physical health issues. And, like, Tourette's can too, but I don't think it's likely to kill you. Excuse me if I'm wrong. Abso-fucking-lutely. If I'm wrong, pardon me. I feel like in a rare instance, it might possibly, like, especially if you, like, tick by pulling your hand towards you and you possibly tend to just have a knife, you would potentially stab yourself, and that would be very bad. If somebody has tics like that, please do not hold sharps. Thank you. I appreciate you looking out for yourself. It's not like I'm kind of joking. I'm not really joking. Like, please do not do something that will hurt yourself. Please, please, please do not. Anyway. So, getting into the topic at hand, really, DID. I do not have DID. I don't know anyone personally who is a system. So, excuse me for just being a, quote, singlet. It's like, why? I've noticed a lot of people who use that term to, like, tell people who don't have DID to, like, shut up and sit down. I feel like a lot of people who actually, you know, are like that are the ones who are faking it. And, like I said, I don't know anyone personally who is a system, so it's not like I can ask someone to join me, come on my podcast, and talk about it. So, And because I've been doing research, I have notes. They're a mess. A big mess. It's just a bunch. Oh my god. I'm trying to make heads or tails of this. It's not easy. So yeah, I don't know where to begin. So we're just gonna have a quick little commercial break. I know it's been not that long since the last one, but you know what? At least I can go on a fumbled rant about my notes, which there's so much. I have a lot here, so if you're still listening, you may or may not hear an ad read. If you do, I appreciate you sticking through it. It's only about a minute or so, I believe, if that. So yeah, we'll see you back in about a minute. So I'm not smart. Probably should have just hit my vape in the meantime. That sounds like that would have been the good time to do it when I wasn't recording anymore. I could potentially just stop recording and trash this a little piece and start over, but I'm not going to. Hello, welcome back. Thank you for rejoining me. See, one thing I like about not being on camera is the fact that you guys can't see me flailing my vape around. Oh boy. I need more nicotine. I've said before what kind of vape I have. I actually currently have the Views Pod. I refill them, but we actually got some because all of ours were burnt out. You can only refill them so much before they burn out. And I think I have one left out of this 4-pack. Yeah. So then I'll have 4 empties to fill up again. Anyway, DID. We are talking about DID today. I hit the mic. I'm sorry. I think I've done it a couple times now. I'm so sorry. Like I said, I've been flailing it around. So yeah. So one thing I do want to get out of the way, DID only affects 1.5% of the population, and the fact that there are numerous creators on TikTok who are doing it that far outpass that 1.5% of the general population is not okay. That's kind of a clue that some people are not being truthful. It's one of those things that if you see someone who is a DID content creator, then it's kind of to the point that we all need to take it with a grain of salt. And I'm not going to sit here and say that telling DID people that they're faking is going to lead to them committing suicide, because obviously you shouldn't tell people that they're faking. Just ignore them and move on, honestly. I'm not calling out anyone here. I'm just ranting about it. There's a lot of people on YouTube I've noticed who are showing creators and not blocking out their handles or anything. Some people are doing it for attention. There are people who are faking for attention. There are people faking to ignore things. Like, they may have legitimate trauma, but they do not have legitimate DID. And that's the thing. You cannot have DID without trauma. I don't know of any psychologists who would argue that you can just, boom, have DID. And, like, your mom took away your cell phone because you were being an asshole. That's not trauma. Sorry, not sorry. At all. Because people dissociate normally. Daydreaming is a form of dissociation. Spacing out is a form of dissociating. But to have alters is a completely different thing. I've noticed too, one sign of people faking DID, they say that their alters are vampires, or that their alters are consistently anime characters. And I'll go a little more into that in a bit, but like, you know, as I've said before, with having ADHD, people will sometimes like share their struggles or share their mental illnesses more for, I know a lot of people do it, that I personally have noticed a lot of people share their own struggles as more of an educational thing. Like, I did one that got way too many views for no reason, and it happened like 3 times that it just keeps getting hit for nothing, and it's annoying. Why the fuck are you doing this, TikTok? It's like my 30th or so video, and it happened almost a year after I started posting, so I don't know why it got hit. Like, TikTok algorithm, like, one of your first couple videos will get like shadow promotion, basically. Like, you didn't do it, but it just gets promoted to the algorithm for no reason. And so, like, why was this video after how long? I don't know. It was weird. But yeah, but if you're making up your disorder, you're not doing it to educate people or to kind of poke fun at yourself like I did with my watch video. You're intentionally doing it for clout. And a lot of these people will actually welcome the haters because they know they're faking it. And the more people that call them out for faking, they have their fan base to back them up. Like, no, they're not faking. still don't know where that soda went. What the fuck? I found it. Okay, cool. We are good. Solid. I had a soda and I didn't know where it was, so this one's almost empty. Where am I? Oh, yeah. So dissociative amnesia and loss of memory while dissociating. Okay, so I actually saw one earlier today. This person said that they're going somewhere and their quote, other alter was like, wait, what? Why? Who said that? Who made that choice? Like, the fact that they just switched, like, that is a major red flag. It is perfectly normal and 100% not uncommon for people who are switching to dissociate, hence dissociation identity disorder. Like, usually I've noticed there's some major like categories of alters, like the guardian or gatekeeper, whatever. I didn't get to like that far into my research, honestly, like, because I'm not sure how consistent that particularly is. And like, again, it's a trauma induced thing, because you have a traumatic experience. You may dissociate, so your brain creates an alter to help you cope with the traumatic event. It's possible that your brain may create several alters in that moment, or create a new alter for a different traumatic event. So yeah, it is literally a trauma response. And most people have parts to their personality, but someone with DID isn't able to integrate into one identity. That's why we no longer call it multiple personality disorder. It's, for example, all right, I am non-binary. I might be a little more masculine today. I might be a little more feminine tomorrow. You know, both of those make up me, Isaac. But they may be different alters within a system. So basically, it's like your personality branches off into like different parts. Same identity. Like, you are still you ultimately, but they're not different personalities. It's, you know, like I said, it's, you know, basically like different sides of the same personality. Think of a D20, all right? Think of D20, 20-sided die for those of you uninitiated, it's the same die, but you have different faces on the same die. Think of those different faces as different altars. You know, that's probably the best way I can explain that. So it's not multiple personalities, it's one personality across a spectrum of identities. Hello. And should a violent or aggressive altar appear, it's a defense mechanism meant to protect the system. Unless a violent or an aggressive altar might not act on it. Another personal example, I do tend to address things with aggression personally. It's just my go-to tactic, I guess. Doesn't mean I'm gonna kill someone. Just means I want you to get the fuck out of my goddamn face, Karen, and shut the fuck up. Sorry. I don't take myself seriously, neither should you. Anyone who takes me seriously, I'm sorry, why? Also, with therapy is a very, very good tool for people who have DID or any other mental disorder. Integration is connection. Why did you go? Can you come? Thank you. I'm gonna say, can you come back? But yeah, integration is not necessarily the goal. It might be some people's goals, but for the most part, it's not the goal. And if your therapist is like forcing you, if you have DID and your therapist is forcing you to just be integrated, then maybe you should see a different therapist, because they're not going to actually help you. If you want to just live with it and cope with it, then forcing integration will probably lead to other issues. Honestly. That's the thing with any therapy. If you're not actively seeking the help that they are recommending, then it's not going to be beneficial to you whatsoever. If I keep cutting out though too, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to. But yeah, with any therapy, if you're just there to cope with it, not to cure it, then that therapy is not going to be a good fit for you, and it might give you a negative outlook on future therapeutic methods. Honestly, I am speaking personally from that too. I know for the longest I didn't want to talk to anyone about my issues because they're like, no, you can't be depressed at all. And it's like, okay, but if it happens, how can I cope with it? Like, just don't be depressed. What? That's not how that works. And yeah, I even have it in my notes too. I went on a little rant there, but I have it in my notes. The goal of therapy is to live with the disorder as with any mental health diagnosis. Because again, it's about living with it and coping with it. It's not about curing it. A lot of mental health issues can't outright be cured. So it's not gonna be a good time for anybody if that's the goal of your therapist.
if that's what you want to do, then absolutely that's what you want. And of course, I mean, that's not possible for a lot. So if your therapist is trying to, talk you down from that peak and say, well, let's work on something more beneficial first, and then we'll go to that, then yes, that's actually a very good therapy method there. Because if your goal is absolute nirvana and you don't reach that goal, then you're gonna be disappointed. I mean, obviously your therapist should want to work with you regardless. Kind of their job. I also have to self-diagnosis is not valid a lot of the times. Like, oh, I get easily distracted all the time. I have ADHD. Like, no. I made another episode too about the guy who said that executive dysfunction has nothing to do with ADHD. Like, first of all, motherfucker, there's a lot to what executive function entails. Working memory, time management, attention span, just name a few. There's a lot though, and to just say that has nothing to do with ADHD is like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Again, there's other things that entail executive dysfunction besides ADHD. It's also present in autism or autistic individuals. Yes, we'll go with that. Parkinson's. So like, it's not just ADHD, and that's why you have to, see a therapist. Well, psychologist. Whatever. A licensed professional can diagnose you. You can't. And because, like I said with that. And another thing too, you have to differentiate if somebody has DID or schizophrenia, or is it something else? You, as the not patient, can't conclusively make that decision. A licensed professional can. There is so much more than what you find on Google. Like, I went over in my schooling and went through diagnosing somebody as having a substance abuse disorder or an alcohol use disorder. I am not licensed to make that diagnosis, though. Also, yeah, technically, somebody who, smokes meth every day, if it's not affecting their life. Like, if they're still going to work every day, if they're still having healthy interpersonal relationships every day, if they are still having a healthy home life every day, then technically they can't have a substance abuse disorder. It's weird. There's a lot that goes into these things, and a lot of people don't realize this. Like, yeah, they are using said substance. They're smoking meth every day, but it's not technically a disorder. I went into this in my episode about comical psychosomatic medicine. Just a couple throwbacks to some of my previous episodes here, you know, whatever. Listen to my old things too, man. Like, I've talked about this stuff. That was loud. I'm so sorry. I think that's the fastest I've ever opened a soda can. I have no idea why. I think I was just rambling and wanted to get it out of the way as soon as possible because I finished off my last soda. Anyway, oh, another thing too was somebody said that they have an alter who's autistic, and self-diagnosing as autistic too, because that's exactly what that is. Not to mention, I couldn't find any evidence that supported that different alters could have different mental health disorders. I tried. I really fucking tried, because like, I'm not here to invalidate anybody, but at the same time, so like, you know, so that's why I tried, you know, but at the same time, like, I couldn't find anything that supported this. From what I understand, that is not valid. The host, if you will, could possibly be autistic, and it is possible that alters may not have those autistic traits. There was an interesting thing about a woman who was blind. She herself was blind, but she had an alter who could see. So the sighted alter, when they fronted, she could see. Like, the woman herself could fucking see, but her eyes did not physically work. But her sighted alter, because like I said, alter was sighted, they could see. So when they fronted, the system as a whole could see, and that's trippy, man. Like, I mean, is it possible that they faked being blind? Actually, yes, but you know, like, that's trippy. My connection cut out, so I decided to hit my vape. Oh yeah, I went over that a little bit already. Someone with DID can have male or female alters, as well as younger or older. It's literally the same as somebody having like a feminine masculine side, like I said before, or having like a childish or old soul part to you. Like, I've seen some people try to make the argument that somebody cannot have an alter that is of a different gender or age than the system, like the host. And it's like, that's no. I have to argue with that. And a lot of people I've seen have argued against that as well. Like, you can absolutely have different genders or different aged alters. I recently saw someone saying, if you want to cosplay, then just fucking cosplay, but don't act like you have a legitimate mental disorder. Which kind of leads me into this too. Okay, so you cannot make up an alter. Alters are not created. They're developed through trauma. It is literally a coping mechanism as a result of such trauma as any dissociative disorder is. Alters are not multiple personalities. And I've seen a lot about fictives. Again, if your quote system is like mostly or exclusively comprised of anime characters, I'm sorry, that's bullshit. I've also seen people say, like, it's one thing to have an alter display traits of a character and you may possibly give them that character's name. But I've also seen people thinking that they are that character in fact. That's kind of more similar to tulpas, which are controversial in themselves. A tulpa is basically a mental companion that you create. So alters are developed, tulpas are created. So yeah, tulpas are entirely different. There's been people who like develop, or not really develop, but like create a tulpa that like does homework with them or does chores with them or something. I think tulpa, personally, I find it more to be like an imaginary friend, so to speak. You know? Yeah, and besides DID, there's dissociative amnesia without alters and depersonalization or derealization disorder. Again, you need to dissociate to have DID. It is literally in the fucking name for a reason. You may dissociate for a short period of time or a long period of time. It could potentially take like an hour just to switch. A lot of people have said that they are, when they switch and when a new alter is fronting, they feel disoriented. Or they may have like a headache or just be exhausted, and that is okay. Because I mean, you just listen to my soda, you damn microphone. But like, you know, that you basically like, you kind of shut down. Trust me, I have had an unhealthy amount of dissociating episodes, unfortunately. I also went on a rant about something that I have like 3 notes down, but no, the people who are just like, I'm gonna stare off into space for 3 seconds and new altar, and then somehow can remember what was going on before that, like, maybe because you're faking, huh? Damn. Like I said, there was that one who was like, we're going to this place on Monday, and the altar, like, without skipping a beat, like, I'll try to kind of reenact it for you a little bit here. Like, hey, we're going to the store on Monday because we forgot to get bread. Excuse me, what? Who made this choice? That's not DID. That's not DID. That's not DID. That's not how DID works. No. Ugh. Why do people think that that's how it works? No. Another thing I've seen some controversy with is people who have several altars co-fronting. Some people think that co-fronting is not possible in a system, but I've seen valid arguments for it. A lot of people who have co-fronting issues tend to be more exhausted or disoriented because of it. Because they pretty much have like way too much going on at once, because due to the co-fronting. And that is believable, honestly. But again, I've seen people argue that co-fronting is or isn't possible, and I'm of the mindset that it is possible. So unless someone can prove me wrong, and with any of this, I mean, if somebody wants to come on and prove me wrong, I will gladly accept it. Oh yes, I've said it before too about the dissociating. It's a disconnection between thoughts, memories, feelings, actions, or a sense of self, and is normal. Sometimes, like with daydreaming or getting lost in thought, are examples of normal dissociating. Dissociating to escape a traumatic situation can help someone tolerate what's too much for them. And, because of that, switching causes the person to lose track of those thoughts, memories, feelings, actions, or sense of self. So some systems can communicate, some don't. But again, it's not going to happen instantaneously. It really isn't. I've also noticed some on TikTok will leave sticky notes or something regarding what they're trying to get done. Like, let's say you have like an important email you need to send for work or whatever. So like, you have to send this email, what the email is about. So you might write it down on a sticky note. So if, God forbid, you dissociate while you're trying to construct this email, you can at least see that sticky note and realize what the email is about. Something like that helps you to cope with having DID. There was one too that it was a reaction that I saw. Bait check. Anyway, where the original video was somebody was talking about something, they switched, and then started flipping shit because of how the room was decorated, which honestly was kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the fact that they just started switching, or they switched and they started flipping shit, that the room was decorated, and they're like, this is garbage. This is literal garbage. What the fuck did we do to this room? And I'm just like, oh, you poor soul. And the person reacting was like, I'm a little more inclined to believe that because it did seem genuine, and it did. Again, personally, I found it funny because, like, just imagine that, like, just like imagine basically waking up one day to see somebody like arranged your room in a way you find totally distasteful. And it's like, oh no. Oh no. Oh, I feel so bad, man. I feel bad for laughing, and I feel bad that that poor altar, man. Like, that's gotta suck. That's gotta fucking suck. Honestly. I went on a rant and I lost my place. I'm sorry. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm like towards the end of my note here. DID is not a trend. People have been faking this even when it was still commonly referred to as multiple personality disorder. People thinking it's, quote, cool and wear it as a badge of honor, more like a badge of dishonor. Like, if you have it, you have it. If you don't, get fucked. You know? Like, I just... It's disgusting. It's not trendy or cool to have a disorder. It's not cool to fake Tourette's. It's not cool to be depressed and so emo. It's not cool to have ADHD, and it's not cool to have DID. These are real issues that people painfully struggle with daily. Some days are better with coping. Some days are better at masking. Some days is absolute trash. It's never a cool or trendy thing. There was one guy who actually came out and said, yeah, I was faking having DID. Like, you're a garbage person for having done that and having convinced other people that you have it. So, like, I appreciate somewhat that you owned up to it, but I still hate you for ever having done it. It's not cool, it's not cute, it's not fun, it's not quirky. I struggle with anxiety. When I say struggle, I genuinely mean fucking struggle. It was an accomplishment for me to be able to go outside of my house. Like, the agoraphobia was so fucking severe that I couldn't even do that. Let alone go to the store to do something. If I need to go like pick up my prescriptions, it is a struggle and a fight within myself just to go do that. And it's ironic because I need the medication for my anxiety. But I have anxiety getting my anxiety medication. So, like, it's bad. I am able to go out in public now. I still don't like to, but I'm able to. being able to and liking to do something are two different things, okay? Like, I don't like it, but I can if I have to. You know, it's not fun, it's not cute, it's not quirky. Like, goddamn, why? Why do people treat these things like it's a fucking joke? Like, I don't see many people faking borderline personality disorder. Why don't you wear that like your fucking badge of dishonor? Like, why don't you pretend? I'm trying to think, what else do people not fake these days? Like, I feel like everything is faked. I know a lot of people fake antisocial personality disorder as well. There's a server that a lot of people faked it. A astounding, disgustingly amount of people faked it. And it's like, why? Why are you pretending to have this thing and you don't? And there's people who would come in with legitimate diagnosis. They were absolutely diagnosed with ASPD and would basically be shut the fuck down because, like, these fakers would be like, you don't really have it. I diagnosed myself with it, with this thing that I found on the internet, so I have it more than you. And it's like, it's not an argument, first of all. Like, stop arguing that your fake diagnosis is more valid than somebody's clinical diagnosis. Like, why is this even a thing? I saw somebody do that with someone who had Tourette's. Somebody who had DID. Like, they're the real ones. And the other person who got the clinical diagnosis is the faker. Like, no. I can't, dude. I really fucking can't. This is not an argument one should be making, because this is something that should never be happening, ever. I don't know. If you are pretending to have DID, you are hurting the actual community of those who have DID. If you're pretending to have Tourette's, you are hurting people who actually have Tourette's. If you are pretending to have any other mental disorder, you are hurting those who actually struggle with that mental disorder. And the next time I hear somebody say, like, I'm so depressed, I had my phone broken. It's like, if your fucking livelihood and your appointments and shit are not in that phone, then get the fuck over yourself. Yeah, it sucks. You don't have a phone anymore. Like, for example, my dad, all of his appointments were in his phone and in his iPad. All of it were. And I tried to tell my grandma I could, it's really easy to wipe the phone. And she's like, I really can't do it because of all those appointments he had. And it just reminds me of everything. And it's like, all right, I'll do it. It was super easy. It was an iPhone SE, like the original SE. Super easy to wipe. I did have access to everything too. That's why. Because I already had access to my dad's iCloud account at that point. Luckily, at that point, I did. Because that was like one of the first things I did when I moved to this town was erase my dad's phone. So, yeah. Like I said, he had a lot wrong with him, though. He was an opioid. I hate that word so much. Opioid addict. He had physical health issues too. He also had ADHD. I think I've gone into this before, like about how ADHD is hereditary. The fact that he has it, I have it, my kids has it. So like, yeah. I think he was taking Ritalin when he passed. I'm not sure exactly. I don't remember. Maybe it was Adderall. He was on one of those. I'm just on clonidine. I like it. It helps. It's nice. It's nice to have things that actually help when you have a fucking diagnosed disorder. Yeah. I don't know. I've been ranting for a while now, and my voice is starting to go out. Luckily, today is Tuesday and is not my stream day. Yay. So it's always a nice thing, you know, I can just rant on and on and on. I might stream though. I may possibly still stream. Just not right now. Probably not though. It is 7:30 at night almost, so probably not. But I digress. I don't know. It's just stop faking disorders, man. That's all I'm asking. That's all anyone wants from you. And if you actually do have a mental health issue, then I hope you can get all the help you need. I hope you can find something that works for you. And if not, I hope soon. I hope you have resources in your area. If you do not have knowledge of where resources are, if you go to the link that I have in the description of every single episode, go to my link, the msha.ke/ism. Go to my link there. Scroll through to find help now. There is a locator for you to find mental health resources in your area. So I hope if you are not getting help already that you can get help soon. So yes, I hope to see you next time too. And I'm gonna roll the outro. Intro is already come and gone. We're going to the outro. Sorry.
Thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to this episode. I try to give updates in my Discord server, so please feel free to check that out. As stated in a previous episode, I have server stickers of my lettuce leaves, and I am incredibly proud of how they turned out. Hint. The fact that I'm so happy and so glad with how they came out is why you're going to hear it in every outro until I make a new outro. I hope you're having a fantastic morning, day, evening, night, whatever time of day you're listening to this. Have a great one and stay safe.